Welcome. Glad you are here. Today, we want to discuss the life and thrilling successes of Bruce Lee. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to my channel so you won't left out of our latest videos, and your subscription also earns the channel a better recognition by Google. Just press the subscribe below. Hope you have done that. You are wonderful. Thanks a lot. Bruce Lee's story of success. Bruce Lee, who is he? Bruce Lee earned admiration and respect from all over. One of the most enduring movie legends of the 20th century was born as a result of his charismatic on-screen presence and audience admiration that cut across all cultural barriers. We all know Bruce Lee as a well-known action star and as one of the greatest martial artists of all time, but did you know that he was also a great philosopher? It was his outlook on life that enabled him to overcome great obstacles in order to realize his dream. Bruce Lee achieved his goal of being a renowned martial artist and a movie star in his early 30s, but most people don't start to understand life until the 30s. Before his untimely death in his early 30s, Bruce Lee realized his dream of becoming a famous martial artist and movie star. Take a cue from one of the greatest film legends of our time. Bruce Lee, also known as Lee Jun Fan, was a martial artist, martial arts instructor, actor, filmmaker, and philosopher from Hong Kong. He was the creator of Jeet Kune Do, a hybrid martial arts concept that combined elements from many combat styles and is frequently regarded with laying the groundwork for contemporary mixed martial arts (MMA). Commentators, reviewers, the media, and other martial artists believe Lee to be the most influential martial artist of all time and a 20th century pop culture icon. He was the East-West bridge builder. He is recognized for his role in altering how Asians were portrayed in American movies. Early years. Chinese parents who worked as theater artists gave birth to Bruce Lee in San Francisco. His family returned to Hong Kong after his birth, where he was raised. He began studying martial arts seriously after being assaulted by a neighborhood gang at the age of 13. He picked up martial arts rapidly and became into one of Hong Kong's top street warriors. Unfortunately, this attracted the notice of the police as well. They began to fear for Bruce Lee's life after he beat up one of the lads who was the son of a feared Chinese mafia member. So it was concluded that it would be best for him to leave Hong Kong and send him back to San Francisco. After moving to San Francisco, Bruce Lee initially worked odd jobs before enrolling in the University of Washington in Seattle to study philosophy. Additionally, he began teaching martial arts. Here, he would also meet Linda Emery, a student of his who would eventually become his wife. When interracial relationships were still widely frowned upon, Bruce Lee and Linda began dating. 3 years later, they were married. It was obvious that Bruce Lee had no racial prejudices. Actually, not only did the majority practice racism against the minority, but also vice versa. Since they felt that only Chinese students deserved to acquire the martial arts secrets, the majority of Chinese martial arts schools at the time refused to accept non-Chinese pupils. Because they believed he was going against the code, many Chinese martial artists at the time resented Bruce Lee. So Jack Man Wong, a martial artist, issued a challenge. If Bruce Lee lost the fight, he would have to close his schools or stop instructing non-Chinese students. Jack would stop teaching if he fell short. Bruce overcame Jack in under a minute, continuing to teach everybody who was interested in learning. The aspiration of Bruce Lee to become a star in action films. Bruce Lee had two main objectives for his career. The first was destined to get to the top of the martial arts world. He achieved this objective quite early in life. He had renowned martial arts abilities by the time he was in his early 20s. He had won every actual street fight he had engaged in addition to defeating the finest martial arts instructors. He displayed his abilities in numerous martial arts contests, showcasing his extraordinary talent. He would be able to get his first acting role with the aid of a film showing him showcasing his abilities at one of the competitions. Being a prominent action hero was Bruce Lee's second big objective. This was significantly harder to accomplish. His entry in the competition resulted in an invitation to the audition for the Green Hornet TV show. Because of the success of the program and Lee's extraordinary talent, the Green Hornet's main character actually gained more popularity thanks to his portrayal of Lee. The popularity of Bruce Lee's character during the show's Hong Kong run caused it to be dubbed the Kato Show. Failure and disappointment. Even after the Green Hornet's success, Bruce would still face difficulties. Because he was not white, no matter where he applied to be a featured actor, whether for a show or a martial arts film, he would always be rejected. This kept happening. He appeared as a guest on numerous television programs at this time and also instructed some of the biggest movie stars of the day in martial arts. They were all in awe of his talent and thought he had the potential to be a huge celebrity, but for some reason, nothing ever worked out for him. The Green Hornet's final episode aired in 1969, and Bruce was looking for a new television role at the time. Warner Brothers was offered a Kung Fu series by Bruce Lee. Bruce put a lot of effort into the project, provided feedback to the directors and screenwriters, and held out hope that he would eventually play the lead character in the new television series. Then, Warner Brothers revealed that David Carradine, a Caucasian actor without much experience in martial arts, had been cast in Bruce Lee's place. Many people believe that Bruce's Oriental appearance prevented him from being selected for the lead part. Bruce expressed his disappointment to his friend by saying that if he wasn't Chinese, it would have been him performing in the Kung Fu series since he was a well-known actor and most likely the best martial artist among his contemporaries who were actors. It was blatant xenophobia from Hollywood. Bruce was irate after Warner Brothers let him down and unhappy that there weren't more prospects for Asian American actors in Hollywood. One evening, Bruce sat down and penned a letter to himself. By 1980, I will be the best-known Oriental movie star in the United States and will have secured $10 million, and in return, I will give the very best acting I could possibly give every single time I am in front of the camera and I will live in peace and harmony. As if things weren't bad enough at the time, Bruce Lee suffered a back injury and spent 6 months in bed. The doctors said Bruce would never be able to kick again. Naturally, Bruce Lee did not accept the claims, and after only 6 months, his wounds were largely healed. Opportunities to act continued to evade him. He made the decision to take a brief vacation with his family to Hong Kong out of frustration. The war is over, Bruce Lee becomes a star. To his astonishment, he found that most locals in Hong Kong knew him as the star of the Green Hornet, which had been renamed the Kato Show as a result of Bruce's enormous success. One of the top producers in Hong Kong, Raymond Chow, approached Bruce after learning that he wanted to work in the film industry and asked him if he would want to play the lead role in The Big Boss, a movie that Chow was producing there. When Bruce Lee agreed, Bruce Lee became a great cinema star in Hong Kong overnight because to the huge success of The Big Boss. He then released Fist of Fury, which was even more successful, and Way of the Dragon, which also starred Chuck Norris and helped Bruce Lee achieve legendary status in East Asia. What came next was something Bruce had been desperately attempting to do for years, but it had always escaped him. When Warner Brothers got back to him, they suggested shooting a film that would also be seen in America. Enter the Dragon was the phrase. Bruce would become a global star and one of the greatest film legends of the 20th century as a result of this movie. Bruce Lee unfortunately passed away unexpectedly from cerebral edema a few days before the film's debut. What's the point of all that accomplishment, you could ask, if he was going to pass away and never get to enjoy it? My defense is that everyone will pass away at some point. Although it was unfortunate for Bruce Lee that he did not live a successful and happy life with his family for as long as he had hoped, the kind of impact he was able to make in his brief life and the number of people who were inspired by him and still regard him as the hero are achievements that are rarely accomplished by people. That is all for now. If you have any suggestions or comments, let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel by pressing the button. See you in the next video.